What's going on, Moon Gang? This is your Dumb Money Update for today, Thursday, August 5th, and I'm pretty excited to bring you this particular update. AMC killed it today, up 12.3%. It closed out the day at 33.51, which is an important technical level that we'll cover in a bit. GME also did really well. It gained 4.5%, closed out the day at 153. But before we get into these moon stocks that apes really care about, I have a little bit of a story for you, one that I find to be particularly funny because we all know, especially the longer you've been in this community, you know that social media is like always accused of manipulating and pumping, and we're just dumb money. And what we're doing is so damaging to the overall market. Well, in the bottom right here, I have Robinhood for you. Trades under the ticker symbol HOOD. Well, yesterday, August 4th, it opened up and had a pretty good day. It did run 50%. I mean, opened up at 53, ran to 85, even better when you look at where it closed on August 3rd. And then today, absolutely plummeted. Ended up dropping 27.59%. And besides the fact that, hey, their business model is based on payment for order flow, and they're basically stealing money from the customers to improve their own bottom line, and even that business model might be outlawed, I think that is very dangerous for the company. I'm not recommending going along on it. In fact, to be completely honest, I have purchased puts on Robinhood. I will make money if it continues to fall. I just want to be completely transparent about my position on that one. But I have a little bit of a funny story for you, a little bit of a haha. Let's go into it. So this is our boy, Jim Cramer, Jimmy boy. So as you can see right here, August 3rd, glad we pushed Robinhood last night. So many told me I was dead wrong. Now who wrong? Hood. Well, first of all, two things. Obviously, you're wrong. It did drop 27% today, and I don't think the bloodbath is necessarily over. We pushed. Sounds like an oddly aggressive financial advice statement there, and you're using social media for it. I don't know. I wonder if the SEC enforcement will look into it. And then, so that was on August 3rd, August 4th. Of course, he's on his high horse. Hood is insane. We love it on Mad Money on CNBC. So you push it, you love it. Feels oddly like a pump and dump to me, folks. Who knows? Like we are in the middle of it. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be bringing. Maybe I'm going to be eating my shoe on this one. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But if it can't hold this area of 49.50, I think we're coming down. Just my opinion. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm at least giving you, hey, like here's the pros, here's the cons, here's why I dislike it. We push it. They love it. I'm assuming someone made a lot of money. I mean, it gets crazier than that. I mean, check this out. Robinhood. This is this morning and part of the reason why it sold off so horrifically. Robinhood retreats from monster rally this week as stockholders file to sell 98 million shares. This is roughly 12% of the company. Now, let me remind you a little bit when Mudrick in late May, early June, sold 8 million shares, 8 million out of 500 million. Everyone lost their mind when it related to AMC. Look, how could you possibly be in this? What are you possibly doing? Insiders are selling, institutional investors are selling. This is so bad. And they basically, in a roundabout way, called us stupid and how could you do this, blah, blah, blah. And then what? Nothing right now. They sold 98 million, completely normal. Like usually this position, you sell it on the day of IPOs. This is anecdotally what we've seen in the past of investors pre-IPO end up selling it on the IPO. But instead, for whatever reason, they waited an odd 5 days and got out at like a huge run-up rally. I mean, this looks so horrifically bad. Maybe I'm missing a part of the narrative, but the optics of this particular play out when they waited on an IPO, which was a bit weird. We have Cramer who's like pumping it, say he loves it. He says we push it. That's his own tweet that they pushed it. And then from there saying we love it on CNBC. And then it gets absolutely murdered the following day. It really looks and seems like a pump and dump, excuse me. And you know what they say? If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. All right, so that's what's going on with those. And now let's turn the record a little bit to something more exciting going on. Let's start it off with the Ortex data on AMC. So even though we rocked it today and we gained over 12%, look at this. They still borrowed $2 million against it with a net of $500,000, short interest of 15.47%. Utilization sky high, still can go higher, 92%, and shares on loan still above that 100 million mark. basically, for me to quickly sum this up, and I also looked at this earlier today, the average duration of these shares on loan is around 42 days. So they've been in it for a while, they're paying a fee, they're actually getting more and more bearish. And that basically means when we get that technical breakout, which we're about to go over, it goes higher and higher and higher. You're raising the ceiling because so many more shorts are going to be captured. Before we do the technicals, I just want to bring this up. We are updating. I mean, we now have 42,000 votes, almost 50 million shares. I mean, we're still looking at over 1,200 shares for the people who reported. I had a whole spiel about how this is a bimodal distribution and you can't multiply that by 4 million. It actually brings the number down. But even, I mean, I had that entire rant about no matter how conservative I could possibly be, just randomly throwing out numbers, it still does not account for what we're seeing in reality. To put it simply, the numbers do not add up. The numbers do not add up. The only thing that would possibly explain it is synthetic, counterfeit, phantom, whatever you want to call it, but somehow shares are existing that should not exist. And this is beyond just theory of we think we now have evidence. We now have verifiable, statistically backed data that is suggestive of something illegal, illicit, nefarious going on in AMC. And I hope that karma is a bitch to them. In terms of technicals, we do have this double bottom off of roughly the 30 region. So we're hoping it's more of like an elongated George W type of a setup. So right here we bounced and then actually we ended up closing right at previous support and or resistance. This is what we saw on June 1st. So first thing is kind of overtaking that tomorrow right at 33.50. And then I want to see how it reacts to 36. And then past that, we have the key region of resistance from 40 to 42. Those are the major levels I will be looking for. And I'm hoping for a nice apish bullish momentum follow through tomorrow to close out the week on August 6th. Switching gears up to GME. Today, there was a net return of 1 million shares, which is sizable because remember, GME does have a lower float, but the short interest still high, 15.2%, utilization at 50%, shares on loan at 9.92 million. So when you take that into account, probably now at 9 million. In terms of GME's chart, also bouncing off of the support. The support it bounced off of was 145, which was the exact low of April 23rd. And that's simply the reason why I had it mapped out. There was no special mathematical thing going on in the background. I was like, hey, it bounced here. I wonder if it'll bounce there again. And it looked like it did. We're looking to overtake this region between basically, let's just call it the high 150s, the low 160s. And then after that, I'm definitely watching 175. Not only a key psychological level, but we've seen that act as support. And in the stock market, it's very common for support to go to resistance, resistance to go to support, and that type of a deal. So overall, AMC and GME looking very good today. Nice bounce. They were both technically oversold. People, I think apes came in, just good swing traders, day traders, whatever you want to call it. We finally saw some buying pressure. People, I think, just said, hey, this is oversold. Let's see how much momentum we can build, and let's see where this possibly rides to. Very, very excited to see how we close out the week for the first week of August. AMC, GME looking very good. Robinhood, not looking so good. Kind of excited to see how far this one actually falls. I'm just curious. My own prediction, like I said, I am bearish on it. So I want to see how this one plays out for not only the remainder of the week, but for the remainder of the month. I would love to get your thoughts on AMC, GME, and Robinhood in a comment below. Of course, if you want to help me out with that YouTube algorithm, you know all that good stuff, like, subscribe. It just helps promote this video to other people. So apes know that apes are still fighting the good fight. We want those people who are on the fence, who are like, maybe they weren't it, not in it anymore, or generally maybe following the story, but haven't really committed any capital. We want them to know that there's people still fighting for it who are not giving up on these stocks. To me, that's probably one of the most important things we can do as a community at this moment in time, is to make sure that our storyline, our narrative does not somehow just die. And until I catch you next time, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.